Alright guys, so today I've got kind of a off the wall kind of topic that I've been thinking about here lately. Um, it really has nothing to do with my progress or Runescape or, well, it does have something to do with Runescape, but not anything pertaining to the game specifically, but just the question, why do we play Runescape? And I've just kind of been thinking about that lately. I've heard a bunch of different things about why people play, and Suomi, I know he makes a lot of videos like this, and I watched one a while back from Allberry or Automelogy, and it's just kind of an interesting topic. First of all, a lot of people explain it by just saying it's addiction or just entertainment. Well, for the most part, I don't think that's why most people play the game. I think that's a pretty shallow explanation. I think there's a bell curve of people, and then those two explanations are the top and bottom 5%. I think for the most part it's something. Well, I don't want to get too deep here, but I think it is deeper than just that. I think there is a logical explanation as to why people play it, and I've narrowed it down to a couple things. The first of which, I think we just a lot of times want to see ourselves progress at something. I mean, we make these progress to max videos. People love those things, and people like to see things progress. And I saw something the other day about why men do something, or why men play video games, or something of that nature. And it basically was saying how it's a steady kind of, like, you can see progress in yourself. You can see the XP gain. You can see the level gains, just things like that. And I think that's a real good explanation for the most part. It's just, I mean, there are some women that play RuneScape, whatever reason they play for, it might be the same reason. Some women are exception to their gender just in general, so I'm not saying that they're different, but it could be the same thing. But I know for me, I like to see, like, concrete, sturdy, thick, hard evidence, if you will, that I'm progressing. And a lot of times you don't see that in real life. I think that's why some people kind of put aside real life responsibilities, is because it's not as concrete and not as, I guess, fulfilling whenever you make an accomplishment. I mean, a real nice accomplishment like landing a dream job, you can see something like that, maybe not detracting from the real life, but just the daily grind, going to work, doing things like that. It's not as nice, and really the only thing you look forward to is the paycheck after 1 or 2 weeks, and in a way that's like the XP gain or the level up. I mean, that's what we look forward to, and we don't get that as often as playing RuneScape. I can go to my XP right now and watch myself gain agility XP. I know what's happening, but a lot of times the reward isn't as instantly gratifying, and that's another thing. I mean, 99 might be a long way. I'm just barely halfway there, but and same with max. I have a while to go for that, but you can actually see the gains that you're making, and I think that's a big part of it as well. Another thing, I just kind of, I guess, just explain addiction to RuneScape. A lot of people, they say, "Oh, I'm not addicted. I can quit at any time." Well, if it's getting in the way of your real life and it's harming you and others around you, that's an addiction. Whether you want to admit it or not. I mean, that is an addiction. And a lot of people try and cover it up, say, "Well, I can quit any time, so it's not an addiction." Well, if you like it so much and you're doing it, you might not have any physical addiction to it like you would hard drugs. You won't have withdrawals, but mentally, the mental addictions, the psychological addictions are the strongest out there, and that's what a lot of people have with things like this, and I think that pretty much sums up addiction to RuneScape per se. And I mean, I can't say that I've never experienced addiction on RuneScape. I mean, a lot of times in the past I have, put aside things that I shouldn't have. But I think right now I have a pretty good balance. even though I do play a lot, I think, I pretty much put everything that I should before RuneScape, and nothing else really suffers per se. So I think I found that good balance. I think the top players even, they find a good balance between real life dedications and RuneScape. Some of them, not so much. I've seen, but I think for the most part, people can manage it fairly well. But there are some that, they just really don't. And then on the other side of the spectrum, like the lower 5%, that just play it for entertainment. They get on weekly, every other day, just play a few minutes. I think that's entertainment. But to sit and grind something until your wrists hurt or you have headaches or you lose a couple hours of sleep. I mean, that's not simple entertainment. That's not sitting down to watch TV. I mean, but it's not necessarily an addiction either. So it's something that we're just dedicated toward, and something you just want to work towards, and that's what I see a lot of. That's why I appreciate RuneScape so much, is because it not only gives you something to do in your spare time, but it's kind of a pastime. Because this is a game that a lot of people started playing. This jump started their internet gaming career per se. I know it did for me back in 2004, and I was 10 years old. So this game has always kind of been with me. I've taken extended breaks and things like that, and I don't regret it. I mean, I would play Xbox with friends, do some real life commitments, but for the most part, this game has always been there for me. Whether it's to help me through depression, give me entertainment while I'm bored, just so many things that this game has been for a lot of us. So I hope this hasn't bored you guys really. It's just kind of something I've been thinking about. I kind of want to do some of these videos more often where I just, kind of talk about things and discuss things, and I think it's kind of interesting. A lot of the responses that, you might get from people, you'll be like, oh, you're a nerd if you grind, it's like, well, I'm not that nerdy, but I mean, in the end, we're all here for the same reason when you really think about it. So, yeah, again, I hope I haven't bored you guys. I hope this has been kind of a productive discussion or listen for you guys. Definitely feel free to post your opinions and comments down in the comment section. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. If you have an opinion different from mine, I'm not gonna reprimand you for it or call you wrong. I mean, everybody has their own reasons, so you guys feel free to share those. I just kind of want this to be a open discussion and appreciation for the game in general. Not trying to call out anybody or demean them if they are addicted per se. You play for whatever reason you play for, and as long as it's not hurting anything or anybody around you, that's up to you. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. Really do appreciate it. Peace.